Welcome back just after 3 o'clock on Chicago Live. This is pretty interesting, and maybe to some people you might say, yeah, of course, I've known this for a long time. A new workplace study is finding that many employees are spending time looking busy rather than actually being busy. They want to look productive rather than actually be productive. Software Finder surveyed more than 1,000 full-time U.S. professionals and found that 66% of workers and 73% of managers admit to faking productivity. We're going to bring in Ali Gohar, the Software Finder's CHRO. Ali, thank you for taking the time. I am fascinated by this study, so I'm excited to talk with you. This is one of those studies that I think a lot of people hear the results and they go, yeah, that checks out. Were you surprised by the results of this at all?
Not actually, because we see it day in, day out. Actually, when different cultures don't reward the productivity, they reward the visibility more. This happens more often. 2 out of 3 people fake it at least 3 times a day for at least 1 hour. We researched about 1,000 people across US on permanent roles, and this is what we found out. To be honest, we were not surprised. We see it all the day in different organizations. I'm working for about 18, 19 years in the HR, different countries, different places, and yeah, we see it all the time.
I was surprised to hear 73% of managers, more than the 66% of workers, 73% of managers admitting to faking productivity. And again, that's just the ones that were willing to admit it. Yes. Were you surprised that more managers were owning up to this than maybe some of their workers?
See, managers have their own managers, they have their own directors, they have leaders as well. So they fake it as well. And another surprising thing, this was a surprising part in this research, that I always used to think that remote workers don't have to fake it, or the hybrid workers, they are not in this game. However, hybrid workers are more inclined to at least 64% that they have to fake it as well, because now they are in a problem, they're in a fix, they have to be seen as well. They believe that if they're in the eyes, it's better for them as well. So they have to fake it as well. And the remote workers, they, at times when different organizations have monitoring tools on the laptops, then they install softwares or mouse jigglers as well to fake their way through in.
I'm curious, whenever the workers sort of talk about their attempts at appearing busy, did they ever give specifics in terms of some of the things that they do to appear busy rather than actually be busy?
This is an interesting one. So the most interesting one for me was when I read in this research that at times people reply late to your Teams or Slack messages just to be seen busy, just to look busy, that they are dealing with lots of stuff. And also when different organizations, they have softwares which are monitoring the productivity, they have to be in that game as well. So this study also focuses on Gen Z. 80% of Gen Z has admitted that they are into performative productivity at times, at least 3 times in a day, 3 times in a week, or at least 1 hour in a day. This is also because they are in the earliest stages of their career, and it looks like to them that they are being monitored more. They are under more surveillance. So they have to fake it.
I have a lot of friends that maybe they work remotely or what have you, and I'm trying to think of I don't have to do this at work, so I'm not quite sure how it works, but they have to keep their mouse moving, otherwise something lets their bosses know that they're not working. And I have friends of mine that literally will say, "Oh, hold on, I need to go move my mouse." I'll be talking to them about fantasy football, and they'll say, "Oh, I got to go. Hold on, let me go move my mouse really quick." And I was I would go the lengths that you go to keep from actually working. But it also, I was surprised to hear that there are monitors that monitor whether or not their mouse on their computer is working. As we're just sort of joking about people pretending to be busy. But then is the flip side that there are the creations of these sort of monitors that are trying to crack down on people faking being busy?
Yes, exactly. And it's mostly, Jake, because when the performance appraisals or the systems within the organization, they are not rewarding the outcome. They're not rewarding the end goals. So about 3 out of 4 people believe, Jake, that if they can, they would log out immediately after work when they're done, if they're not being seen. So at least most people can at least save at least 1 hour a day if they can just log out when they're done. So, but when they know they're being monitored, they have to create that visibility. They have to fake their way in.
I'm curious. What I'm reading here is that it's Gen Z that finds themselves doing this the most. Why do you think that is?
Like I mentioned, it's because they are at the earlier stages of their career. It looks like they believe, and at times it's correct as well, that they're being monitored more. They have lots of ground to cover. They have to prove themselves. They're not themselves manager as yet. So they believe they have to fake more than the others. So 80% of Gen Z accepted, and this is more than at least 10% as compared to, let's say, millennials.
It's a fascinating topic, and I'm sure one that a lot of people have a lot of opinions over. Ali Gohar, Software Finders, CHRO. Hey, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine.
Take care.